Let's back up for a minute. What made you start writing science fiction?
Well, I don't know. Hard to say. I really can't put my finger on it exactly.
Probably wasn't the money when you started in the 50s. You were
I wasn't making any
word.
money. I wasn't making any money at all because I wrote lots of stories that never got published. But
could have chosen a lot of genres, yet you chose that one. I'm saying I'm rather glad you did. But...
well, I think it was because I was essentially interested in the field. I can't think of any better way of saying it than that.
I wonder how many of the writers get started by reading something and saying, good God, what a piece of nonsense. I can do better than this, and then proceed
that wasn't my way. I remember when you're a kid, you read things and they excite you tremendously and they haunt you. Then when you start writing, then these things start coming out.
You try to do it yourself and wonder then how it was done in the first place.
Yeah.
Some of the most moving literature that you read doesn't use the big words or the poetic words or the ones that are supposed to elicit this response.
Exactly. It's a very straightforward kind of thing. In fact, when I was a kid, I remember I was much impressed by the poetry of the early 19th century. And Shelley, Keats, so forth. And recently, I thought I'd reread some of it, and good heavens, I said, how in the world could I have liked this stuff? I don't know, it's either maturity or, let's see, my idea came from yours, and now I've forgotten the connection. What did you say? What was your last comment?
I don't remember what my
last
comment was.
Anyway, it doesn't make any difference. But anyway, the idea is that this language that these 19th century poets used now, in retrospect, seems so stagey, so far-fetched, so
I remember how
unreal.
Entranced I was with the word numinous for a while.
Now, there's very little poetry that I enjoy reading, just for this reason, that the language seems so strange. There are some poems that don't have this strained, odd language. Some of William Blake's stuff is
yes, indeed.
written. It seems like he's talking, and yet by the end of it, you come out with this passionate declarations there.
Who are the writers who you pay attention to and who've been an influence?
Nowadays, as I mentioned, I don't read much fiction at all. I read things which interest me in other fields, but very little fiction.
Well, not necessarily fiction, just philosophers,
historians.
No,
I like mainly history, mathematics, science. It sounds foolish to use these words because they're so general, so broad. But essentially, I'm interested in learning how the world is put together, how it works, what has brought us to our current condition, and the possible ways that things might have been different, or possible speculations. In fact, some of the best books of history have never been written, I think. I know it's been tried. There's a book called If. I forget what it was, but it was, say, if Napoleon had won the Battle of Waterloo, if Attila had not died, or such and such, In fact, Philip Dick, what was his book to last?
The Man in the High Castle.
Wasn't that one of these very same
the
books?
Axis Powers who won World War II.
If the Axis Powers won World War II. Well, these are fascinating books because they show us, instead of all of us sitting here placidly, you with your scotch and sodas in front of you, and me with your ice water.
Is that what you're drinking, Michael? I had no idea.
All of us, we probably out, heaven knows what, topping fir trees up in the Great North Woods or something like that, or diving for abalone instead of sitting here. You see, things might be different.
Is that one of the things? I don't recall that being a theme you've ever touched.
No, because it's so obvious.
Well, there's a difference between being obvious and doing a good job, as you yourself pointed out.
Well, now, I don't know the circumstances under which your father met your mother, you see, but they were, or yours, but they were evidently very chancy. I mean, somebody introduced them. You said, now, if your mother had got off the streetcar at one stop before, you wouldn't be here. Or if your father had gone to the University of Michigan instead of University of Florida, wherever it is, or something of the sort, you see, then you wouldn't be here again.
Jack Finney or Charles Finney, one of the two, wrote a book about 5 years ago called Time and Again, which was exactly Jack Finney? Thank you, Sherry. Theory was he had to go back to prevent a man from meeting a woman. So beautiful piece of work. Set in that well-known science fiction locale, San Diego.
Yeah. But essentially, I mean, these speculations are kind of pointless because we must accept the world as it exists.
Why? Why must we?
We don't have any other choice.
Sure we do.
No, we don't.
As writers, as creators, I say that you do. As a matter of fact, you've got to. If you accept the world as it is, the languages of Poe would not have been written, etc., etc.
No,
so you
but I accept the world as it is. However, that doesn't leave me. That leaves me at total liberty to construct future possibilities. But I'd be foolish to start using a set of premises which weren't with us today. That would be kind of pointless.
If Booth had missed Lincoln, Wardmore's not Wardmore. South won the war.
Yeah.
I mean that's
Let's see.
That's
Is there been something? Is that a book that's been written?
Yes.
Well, essentially, the South has won the war. Carter just got elected.
Okay.